For example, here we are creating some VNet as well as we are creating some subnet. VNet, two subnets. If you change anything in the subnet or if you change anything in the virtual network, generally what happens is you have to do Terraform plan. If you do Terraform plan, it will refresh the, try to understand, it will refresh the resource which is resource configuration which is resides in the Terraform state here, Terraform state, and it will compare with the resource which deployed in Azure. If there is any changes, plan will show you. That is what yesterday I shown you. If you change anything, resource will be refreshed and it will be displayed here. It is one way in the sense, yes, you have to plan it. Then only it will recognize. Without you plan, it does not recognize. It is
Yes,
not
yes,
that
yes.
much. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Understood.
Yeah. And also there will be a number of resources. Whatever you deployed using Terraform, that's what the consideration. It is not going to consider all other resources which are manually created. You don't mind really. Okay. So any other doubts? Anyone? There will be many. There will be many if you practice. Try to understand. We can't get this back. These 5 days back once it is done. Try to understand. Only 5 days. Whatever the resources that you concentrated so far, that's okay. That's okay. If you're able to concentrate these Terraform alone, trust me, you'll get real value in the market.
But small confusion on that, but
You
it
can
is
ask
easy. Yeah.
anything, anything you can ask. Stop me while I'm explaining. Stop me, ask
Okay,
it. I don't mind
okay,
really.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope this is fine for everyone. So yeah, thanks for
Sir,
practicing.
Sir
Yeah.
Rajesh here. So I have
Yeah,
one
Rajesh.
more doubt.
Yeah.
So already existing resources which are created by using Azure PowerShell or manually,
Huh.
so that can be retrieved here. Can we make changes on that resources?
Good question. Really good question. So what happens is there will be a number of services we create manually or Terraform, sorry, or PowerShell or ARM templates or Azure CLI, whatnot, anything. Apart from Terraform, you build any service in Azure portal that is not managed by Terraform. But you can import that too. I'll show you maybe tomorrow. You can import that resource. You can import that resource to Terraform. Not a problem. If you want, you can import it. If you want to use it, you can use it. For example, a resource group created in the portal manually and you want to use it, data source you can create and you can use it. Or if you want to directly import to the code, you can do it both ways. If you're interested, I can show right away. Okay, let it be. Let us complete those two first. Let me take CMD. But these resources been destroyed. I destroyed yesterday. So if you don't have, because this is test, I'm just deleting .terraform. Come on, just a moment.
Sir, one more doubt
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
So
yeah.
here, when we created a folder and we are creating main.tf, right? So when we initialize, yeah, some files are creating, and when we apply, and some files are creating. What are those files? Actually, log file and some other files are
I
creating.
can tell you. I can tell you.
So,
Let me
what
show.
it contains, and
Yeah,
why?
yeah, yeah. So .terraform, you can see .terraform everywhere. Each and every repository will have .terraform. If I expand this VNet2, there will be a .terraform. There will be a log file. There will be TF state, and there will be TF state backup. There are four different one folder, three different files will come in picture. Any resource, any directory, that's what the scenario. So what happens is .terraform actually contains .terraform actually contains required provider will be downloaded. See, this is the Terraform provider Azure RM version 2.76.0.exe. So Terraform provider this is. Just a moment. So this is Terraform provider. It downloads Terraform provider and it stores locally. And also one more thing, important thing. .terraform also contains not only this particular provider, it also contains the code, whatever code we write, right? That will store in this particular .terraform. When? Not in this particular situation. If we are using GitHub to store our code remotely, if you are storing your code remotely, or if you are using modules where you need to download and use, right? That situation, .terraform is a perfect place to download. Try to understand. If you're using module, I can explain you. But this is the place it will download modules as well as it will download required providers. .terraform does these two things. And if you take state file, right? If you take a state file contains, see, this is state. Literally yesterday we deployed. It's a JSON format and it contains whatever the resources that you created. So Azure RM resource group, name is example. This is under resources. This is resources, right? Under resources, this particular piece is for resource group name example. And this particular piece is for subnet till this comma. And this particular piece is for the subnet till this comma. And this is for the virtual network. This is how it stores really. Try to understand. You should not, you never ever, you should not modify a state. Please try to understand. Do not modify TF state file. It contains all crucial information about your deployment. If you change something, that will impact your deployment. So never ever change this. It contains all IDs, secure information, etc., etc. So whatever we deployed, that's how Terraform is able to know, you know. What happens is when you, for example, we created a VNet, under that we created a subnet. So if you again plan after deployment, if you make again plan, what happens? It will search with the ID, whatever the ID, it will search with this ID and check all these properties are as it is. Try to understand. All these properties are as it is or not. If these properties are not matching, then what happens is it will throw something to modify, something to destroy, something to create. So based on this, it will literally verify the state file and your code, right? And your code and with the Azure portal. If resources are created, it will verify with the actual resource. Try to understand. If you change the code, it will detect. If someone manually changed the configuration, it will detect. Two different things. So this is what TF state. Log file is very recently added. So it's like what happens is when we do this init, Terraform init, log file automatically creates and it will store some hashes. Try to understand. It will store some hashes, this particular hash information for the future reference. And it also stores the provider related, what provider we are using, what version we are using, right? It's easy for us. It's not like each and every time it goes and verifies, right? To simplify the process, it stores the provider related information with hashes. That's it. And Terraform TF state backup, you don't see any difference here. Both are same, but this is backup. If something happened, this Terraform state is deleted somehow. We stored in the storage account, somehow storage account deleted, etc., etc. In such situation, you can retrieve from this particular backup file. So this is additional backup. That's it. Are you clear with the files?
Yes, sir.
So let us focus. We what we thought is we'll see the import and using the resource which is created. So because I'll delete this dot Terraform because I literally deleted all this all the resources. So I want to delete all this backup TF state, nothing. I don't want anything really needed because those resources are deleted yesterday. Let it be. I don't want to touch this too. Only this. This is what we are doing. Okay, let us do one thing. I don't want to deploy the resource group. Someone someone created this resource already. Example resources. Let me do this. Go to the portal. Resource group. Let us create a resource group. This applies for any. This applies for any resource, not only resource group. This applies for any. Review create. Okay. Someone created this example resources resource group and we want to use that. How we want to use that? For example, there is data source. Data. So what data you're really using it? Azure RM underscore resource group. Just like resource, you take the data, right? Data is a block requires so and so, so and so. If it is created outside the Terraform or some other module in the Terraform itself, which is not created by this particular repository, which is not created by this particular repository or module, then what happens is you can use data source. So the mandatory parameters, just press control space. It will show the mandatory equals to what we thought is example. I think that's it really needed. Control S. And to reference that, what exactly we do is for resource, you no need to mention the resource. For data, you have to mention data dot Azure RM resource group dot RG, let it be, and example will be RG and data dot something not clear, please stop me. RG and name, and this will be RG data dot we are getting from data, we're not getting from the resource. That's why I'm changing data dot, and the block name is RG data dot RG. So have we missed anything? No, nothing. Yeah, this is what we are not created and we are using it. We are not creating here. Let me plan it. CMD. TF under TF there will be VNet 02. So Terraform init see again log file is created, .terraform is created. It will download the required provider, and also it will mention the details in .terraform log.hcl. Now Terraform plan. What happened? Oh, sorry. I think I literally changed this also. Have you noticed it? It is not. This is VNet thing. I should not change this, isn't it? This is virtual network name. Example. This goes to example dot name. This goes to example dot name. Is that clear? So this is what we have to use. Here written virtual network name, not the resource group thing. This is virtual network. Resource group we are passing here to the subnet. And to the virtual network, both are related to resource group. That's why we mentioned data. I think that's it. Now, so 3 resources will be created. If we do Terraform apply, these resources needs to be created in this particular resource group. That's what the requirement. And this resource group is not created using Terraform. We are just using it. We are just importing it. Sorry, we are just referencing it. That's it, using data source. Yes, please create. 3 to add, 0 to change, 0 to destroy. That particular plan thing is literally important. Literally important. If there is anything change, please go up and see what exactly changing. If something is destroying, please go up and see. That's really important. Do not blindly enter yes. Try to understand. Do not enter yes blindly without having any concrete understanding on your code. Done. For example, I want to create example subnet 3, 4, where 3. Okay, then I do one thing. I will create a subnet inside the portal. I go to this particular resource, virtual network, and I go here. I go to the second scenario. This is for the second scenario, import, right? So I go to the subnet, one is one there. I don't know. We are creating 4 2. I don't know why 4 2. Okay. So this is something like I can mention 3 create it. and let's plan it. It will refresh all the services. It will refresh all the services and no changes. And you can ignore very recent this thing, right? It's literally showing like that. It's literally showing unnecessary information. You can ignore. Only thing is no changes is the requirement. If there is no changes, that's it. We are good. But some unnecessary things are showing. We are not changed anything. It is asking to mention this empty properties, some properties with empty information, right? So just ignore that. You don't need to worry. So now I want to bring that whatever the example subnet one, whatever example subnet one, I want to bring that to Terraform. I want to bring that to Terraform. How that happens? That is manually created, right? And we are not created it. And first and foremost, to bring that in, what you have to do is, you have to write the code. Sorry. You have to write the code. Current version does not write the code itself. Terraform is unable to write the code itself in current version. Terraform promised that, HashiCorp promised that in future versions, you no need to write the code. This headache also will be removed in future versions. Officially, HashiCorp confirmed it, but we are not sure when that will be appear. Till then, what we have to do is, if you want to import something, first and foremost, you have to create the code related to that particular resource and import it. So Azure RM subnet, give any block name, for example, one, for example, name exactly whatever the name you want to give, and other properties also exactly. This is I given 3. It seems, yeah, right? So save it. And I'll tell you one more funny thing. If I plan now, can somebody tell me what happens? What exactly here it displays?
Showing no changes, I think.
Anyone?
I think one change because it delete and recreate it.
No. One change is correct. Terraform does not know this resource manually created. Terraform does not know. Why it does not know? Because state file does not have this resource. Whatever in state file, try to understand, very clear. Whatever in state file is a truth for the Terraform. State file does not have this resource. Hence, Terraform considers this is new, related to new service, and I'm going to deploy. This is what the plan. This is just a plan. It is not going to verify your resource which is manually created. Try to understand. That's what I'm, since beginning I'm saying. It won't detect the services which is manually created. If service created using Terraform, if you are doing a plan, it will verify state file. In state file, it resides, right? Whatever the resources that resides in the state file, it will go and verify in the portal whether something is changed or not. That's what this particular action here, refreshing. See, these 3 resources are refreshing, isn't it? Refreshing state. This is ID. It will go literally and see if there is any modifications, changes, deletions, etc., only related to these 3 services. If portal having 100 other things, Terraform, no need to worry about it. Whatever deployed using Terraform, that is what the worry. Here, the situation is, we mentioned the code in the Terraform, but it is not present in the state. That's why it is behaving like I will create new. Try to understand. Now what we have to do is we have to import. So import is also very easy, single command. You can import the resource by resource ID. Terraform import, just type Terraform import. Very easy command with ID. If you go down, where? What happening? I don't know. Even where we can go, whatever the resource that you want to do, but import command is a direct command. I don't know why. Okay, so Terraform Azure resource group, any resource, VNet, any other virtual machine or anything, or resource group, just go to that below. Under each and every resource, he'll give the code to create the resource group. At the same time, you can find import any resource. Under any resource, easiest way, go to the same resource to create, and he'll mention import. This is 100% should be there, this particular import on any. If you want to see, for example, virtual network, right, or storage account or anything, disk, below he'll give this particular description, this particular command. Nothing, it's a simple Terraform import and the module name, sorry, resource block name and resource ID. Let me take a notepad and explain you. First, you have to prepare the code. Once you prepared this command, you need to prepare Terraform import Azure RM resource group. For example, this is resource group, right? What we want to import this particular thing, right? Just copy this Azure RM subnet dot example1. Copy that Azure RM subnet dot example1. That's it. We got the block name. You have to get this, whatever highlighted in hash bold color, you have to get this. Otherwise, in code also you can get same thing. I think example one, right? Azure RM subnet dot example one. These two things you have to get it. That's it. We are getting same. And the ID of the subnet, right? So the ID of the subnet. I think we do have the refresh from the previous subnets, right? So just copy that. We can change it. Paste subnet 1. Let's see that is appropriate or not. What name be given? Name subnet 1. Okay. This is what the command. Say, select it, come to the CMD and paste it. Make sure Terraform import and subnet example1 and the ID of the subnet. Whatever the ID of the subnet, just enter. Perfect. Import successful. That means if I want to see whether it is imported to the state file or not, Terraform state list is a command. Just enter that. See, data. This is data. Please do not consider this as a resource. This is a data source resource group, and there are 3 different subnets and 1 VNet. Even subnet 1, subnet dot example 1 is imported to the state. That means it is managed here and after. It is managed by Terraform. Subnet, Azure RM subnet, Azure RM. What is the name? Yeah, this is the one. If you see, subnet 1. So this is how it is. It will import, and now if you plan the Terraform, it says no changes, right? It should say no changes. And it is not really mandatory that you have to. Just a moment. Sorry for that. So you see, no changes, nothing to worry. This is what data source and import, two different important things that we need to remember. And now we go to our regular thing.
Sir, what data source and import, what is the main difference, sir?
Data source, import. Data source is just a reference. We are not importing that. We are not really managing with this particular Terraform code. We are not managing it. If something is changed in the resource group, Terraform no need really. It won't mind, it won't monitor it, it won't import the service to the state, right?
Yes, sir.
It will just reference it. It will use, for example, there are many services in Azure. To create one service, you want information from other service, but you don't want to import in Terraform. In such situation, we use data. Import is a kind like you want to manage that with this particular Terraform. You want to manage completely. In such situation, we import it. Generally, real scenario, data sources will be very less. Everything will be managed by Terraform only. So initial projects, for example, there are some, we recently started implementing Terraform, means we import all the services to the Terraform, right? Same kind of.
Got it, sir.
Now, then what we do? Okay. Next thing is, we are mentioning everything in the main.tf. That's perfectly all right. If you are creating 1,000 resources, you can mention in same main.tf. There is no crime in it. But let me tell you, generally, how this will be created, how this will be managed. So, new file, variables.tf, new file, providers.tf. Don't worry, I'm literally not doing anything. This is cut paste. I'm cutting this provider and pasting in the provider. I'm just segregating. Provider should be in the provider.tf, right? Why we are maintaining everything in main? It's really not needed. And also variable.tf. What exactly variable.tf does is we have to make sure we pass some information to Terraform and that will be deployed. Try to understand. In PowerShell, we can create line by line, and we can deploy. If you see automation account example, we prepared everything in variable, we reference to the variable, and we pass the variable values from outside. Same concept here. You should use variables, and that variable values should call from outside. So this is really useful for the next model, to prepare the next model. And this is how, without variables, people will never ever create. We are just going to the industry standards. This is easiest way to implement, that's okay. But even we have to move little bit how industry is doing, right? I'm just going there. So providers.tf, whatever the provider related configuration should come there. And variables, variable rg name and type is equals to string. This is rg name. And one more thing, default is equals to, I'm just mentioning the value, default equals to what is the name, example resources. But bear with me a minute or two, you'll literally understand what I'm doing. Leave it. These are the variables that I am creating in. And here, this is VNet name. Second one, VNet name, and the default value is whatever the, I think I copied the VNet name. Yeah. And VNet address prefix, and here we get the value. And remember one thing, this is not string at all. If you mention something in the square brackets, right, that is list of strings, list. That's it. So VNet address prefix should be a list. And subnet name, subnet one name, default value is okay. Then I do one thing. There are two more subnets. Let me paste it 2 times. Subnet one name, subnet two name goes to 3, and subnet 3 name, I think very last one we created 1, but don't mind the naming conventions. So otherwise what I can do is subnet 4 name is 4, subnet 3 name is 3, subnet 1 name, yeah, this is easy, right? So 1 2 3, subnet 4, these are the subnet names. And one more thing we have to do is this particular address prefix, subnet address prefix. Copy this 3 because 3 different required, paste it, subnet 4 address prefix. And these are not strings, it should be list always. subnet and vnet address space, right? Those will be list because we can pass multiple. And we pass the information. This is subnet 4.1, subnet 4, and the value example 1, subnet 1. This is the one. And, this is example 2, subnet 2. I don't know what I'm doing here. Just a moment. This naming conventions, I literally messed up. Subnet 4 is 1. Subnet 4 is 1. Okay. Subnet 1 is 3. Subnet 1, yeah, is 3. And 2 is 2. Okay, fine. Oh, this is 2, right? 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Okay. Save it. Now what we do is, these are the variables. We also given the values. For now, we given the values. Next model, we not give the default values also. So coming to the main and literally mention whatever the resource group name, etc., etc. Just a moment. So now we fill all the variable values. Let me come from the beginning. Var dot rg name is a variable name. So here reference, how we reference? Var dot rg name, that's it. And this is var dot vnet name, var dot vnet name, because variable names are able to recognize. We saved that file and it is recognizing. And this is var dot vnet address. I don't know what name I given. Address prefix. Yes. Why only this is not able to recognize? Yes. Okay. Var dot vnet address prefix. And here it is done. So this is var dot subnet 4 dot name and var dot subnet 4, what is this? Address prefix. That's it. And one more thing you can literally see is it is unable to recognize. Problem is it is giving different color. I don't know only that, but rest everything giving normal color which is able to recognize. Okay, next one is this is var dot subnet 1. You can change 1 and this is 2. One more thing, var dot subnet 1, var dot subnet 1 dot name and var dot subnet 2.name. This is 2.name. Okay, whatever we saved initially, that got populating. Huh. No. 1 second. Subnet 2 address prefix. This must be subnet 2. Sorry, I given worst names, but nothing to worry. Okay, now I literally separated providers and variables, everything, and I referenced inside. Literally, I'm not hard coding any one value, isn't it? I literally not hard coding anything. Everything is coming from variables. This is what the nature. Industry, this is how they are doing. You should not hard code any values until unless there is a special requirement. Any value you should not pass directly. That is what you should not hard code. So now let me do Terraform plan. Let's see, if we give some variable here and there, then only it will identify changes. Otherwise, no changes. If we perfectly map the required variable with values, and that's it. There is no changes at all, because we are not changed anything. Only thing is we shifted the input from here to there. Yeah, there might be some example 3, right? Example subnet. Okay, this we given wrongly. Let me do it. Example subnet 2, where example 2, that is subnet 3.
Yeah, you given 3 providers in providers.
No, not providers. Is it providers?
Sequence.
No. This is subnet name we given wrong in the variables.
Okay, sir.
I think where there is easiest way is this is going to replace with this, right? Just to find it out where this guy is residing, and the value should be this. Example subnet 2. That's it. Now this will be fine. I don't know, due to some reason I changed. Okay, now save it and run it again. We literally not changed anything. We are referencing instead of passing the information with which is hard coded, we are just doing from outside. Through variables, we are passing the information. There is no change. We really did nothing. See, no changes. That's what. This is what one specific thing. We have to use the variables, and we have to split into multiple folders. We have to split into multiple files. Terraform is able to consolidate if you have 100.tf files. Let me go to this folder, vnet2, right? Whatever I'm selecting now is a tf files. If you have hundreds of the tf files, no problem. Terraform is able to consolidate all these files. Terraform is able to consolidate all these files, and that will prepare which service needs to come first, which service needs to come later, etc., etc. That's why we can leverage that advantage. So we will give according to our convenience main.tf, whatever the resources we creating, that we literally mention main.tf. Provider configuration under providers, variables will be in variables, and output will be in output, something like that, right? So that's what. And data sources will be in requirement.tf. Generally, I'm saying in general how my company is using, right? So generally, requirements.tf. In this requirement.tf, even data source will go and sit there. Whatever data sources will go and sit inside this requirement.tf. Requirements.tf. That's it. Is it clear so far? We literally did nothing. We introduced variables and we split the code into multiple files to understand in a better way. If everything is clumsy, we really unable to understand it in a proper way. So for example, if you literally need to add one more data source, you go to the requirement and add it and utilize in the main. If any variable really required here, you define here and use here. That's how we can do easily. And remember one thing, it's not like how many services we deployed using Terraform, because any code, Terraform code is literally available. We need to use all the scenarios. We need to use all the scenarios. That's literally must and should. So if you understand today, tomorrow you're literally ready for the other module concept. Tomorrow we are going to deal module concept. That's important, because no one in the world will use as it is. Whatever we progressed today, right? No one is going to stay in this place itself. They'll move to the modules. If you understand modules, and if you understand how to deploy multiple, not only one, if you want, for example, what I'm doing here, I'm creating 3 different subnets, isn't it? Why? If there is 100 subnets, I have to copy paste 100 times. No, that is not the accurate thing. If any VNet should use this, if any subnet should use only one. That's it. That's really, that's it. I should not copy paste again and again and again. Less code, more accurate. That's it. So tomorrow
So-
we'll see. Yeah.
So it's a modules are like functions, so we can reuse the
Yes.
code.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Tomorrow we'll see the modules, but whatever we practice, we literally did nothing, isn't it? We moved the files and we referenced the variables and we checked what data source is, what import, how to import an existing resource.
Sir, we can use conditional statements and looping statements.
Yes,
Like
everything will come in picture. So, and also finally, I will share the code, not this, whatever we are practicing, that is okay. I will share real-time project code. So you can keep that for your reference. So that will really useful. So for example, NSG with 100 NSG rules, how we can deal that, right? So that's where the intelligence come in picture. So I'll explain all those, nothing to worry. Okay, so that's it from me. If no doubt, we will wind up today.
Sir,
Yeah.
I didn't see any Sundays class like you have. You said that you will
Even
be
this
like
weekend,
for
even this weekend
yes.
we'll have the class, man. We should have. Actually, due to my personal reasons, this session is getting extended. So this weekend also, if anyone having any issue, that's okay. If no one having some issue, at least from 11 o'clock, not the early morning, people might be feel very uncomfortable if someone needs to wake up, right? So if they slept very lately, they are unable to wake up. So at least 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, if you people are okay, literally want to take Saturday and Sunday both.
Sir, 9:30 or 10 o'clock is fine, sir, because
Okay, you have any other okay,
yes,
appointment?
9:30 or 10 o'clock, 10 to 11, 10 to 12 or 12:30 to and about.
Okay, then we fix 10.
Okay, sir.
Not a problem. It's based on our convenience. Or if you feel evening, I'm okay. But anywhere in the Saturday, Sunday.
Morning is fine.
Okay, then we fix 10 o'clock. So that's for everyone, right? I don't think there is an issue with
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Sir,
Perfect. Yeah.
sir, please don't exceed 2 hours, sir, because our mind is capable to hold only 2 hours.
Yeah,
If it
but see,
exceeds,
what happened last time is Saturday I thought to take, somehow it is missed. I thought to yeah, fine. Anyhow, if you give me for 2 hours, even that gives 4 sessions, 4 hours in total, right? So 1 week we can cover almost.
because in last session we can able to understand 2 hours. After that,
Yeah,
unable
that's
to.
what I'm saying. Anytime, if you feel anything uncomfortable, right? If you say nothing, I thought, okay, these guys are okay, we can proceed little bit. Stop me, what's wrong in it? We have to raise our voice. What's wrong in it? Okay. Then we see tomorrow, and we also meet Saturday, Sunday by 10 a.m. I'll inform Gopal as well, so he'll be available.